Good afternoon. I'm Peter Pereira, photographer at the Standard Times, and you are?
Hello, I'm Aimee Chiavaroli. I'm the education reporter at the Standard Times.
And recently we worked on a project together.
We did, another project.
And the cool thing about this project is it was weird because I don't know if the viewers know, but how the project process works. So I came up with an idea that I wanted to do it on the women in the New Bedford Police Department. And this is a project that I thought about for a long period of time, as you know. And one day we were just sitting around and I'm like, actually, are there any women in the fire department? So that's how the whole thing started. And it turns out there were 2 women in the fire department. At the time when I started actually photographing the project, there was only one in the active side and there was one in the dispatch side. So I decided to do a piece on Jolene, and then that's where you came in. And next thing you know, we were with Jolene. So, I mean, the cool thing for me is I'm always trying to find a project that's not only visually interesting, but it also informs people about things that they might not know about. And in this case, it was real eye-opening in a lot of ways, right? I mean, what did you think? What did you perceive?
I think so too, and I think, at least judging from the comments that I saw on our Facebook page, I think there were a lot of people that also didn't know that there are only 2 women on the fire department. And I think a lot of people were just saying like, wow, like Jolene's pretty cool, like look at her go, she's a mom, she's a firefighter, you know, she's doing all this great stuff. And I think for me as a reporter and I guess a person in general, I just got to see a lot of things that you just wouldn't normally see as a member of the community. And it just so happened that when we were reporting on the story, we went to actually 2 pretty big fires, which was kind of crazy, just the timing of that.
They almost started looking at us as if, what's wrong with you guys? Because I mean, obviously, being a firefighter, it's fires don't happen every single day, which is a good thing. And ironically, on 2 consecutive weeks, they had 2 pretty major fires. One was on Spruce Street, and the other one was on Templeton, or
Yes, Templeton Street. Yes,
yeah, and it's real interesting to see on both of those occasions. Jolene was the driver of the fire truck, so I remember on the second fire, she just could not wait to get involved into the entire process. I mean, she really cares deeply, not just about supporting her fellow Station 2 firefighters, but contributing. And I remember she's saying something really loud to the chief. Hey, there's flames coming out of the roof. Do you want me to hit it? And the chief was like, sure. So she grabs a hose. She didn't even have her equipment on yet, and she's like just in there trying to get it done and trying to knock this thing down. And I thought that was pretty impressive. Not because she's a girl, but just because how involved she was in the whole process,
Yeah, you can definitely tell that she loves her job and she just wants to be in it. I think that's kind of one of the things that sort of struck me about her. And in general, I just love people that just love their jobs and love what they do. It's really amazing. And she definitely is one of those people. And so that's why I wrote in the story how when we went to the fire on Templeton Street, she just wanted to get in there. She wanted to switch place with one of the guys so she didn't have to drive, and so she could actually get in there and fight the fire with them, which I thought was really cool. But Nate didn't want to switch with her. And, she was just doing her job as a driver, which is a very important job, well as Lieutenant Mello was telling me. And you really have to, first of all, get there on time in a really fast pace to actually fight the fire. And then you're responsible for a number of different things. Of course, the water is one of the most important things, and that's what they're mainly in charge of.
Yeah, I think one of the I hate calling it the funniest moment, but one of the moments that a lot of times I think the community, myself included, don't really come to grips with how much on call these people are. And I remember we were at Shaw's and they were going around to different aisles trying to pick out what they're going to eat for lunch. And Jolene goes to the soups and fills out a small little tub of soup. And just as she puts the lid on this thing, the speaker, the intercom attached to her jacket is like, we got a working house fire. So what does she do? She's running out, she puts the soup down and bolts. I wonder if she ever had lunch that day, because she went straight from the Isles of Shaw's to fight the fire on Spruce Street. And I think that's one of the elements that sometimes gets lost, in the sense that these people live at the station for 24 straight hours. And they're on call for 24 straight hours. So they could literally be working all 24 of those hours if there's a big structural fire somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And we talked a bit about that too. I mean, they have a small kitchen space that they could make food in and stuff, but obviously when you get a call, you have to leave no matter what. So maybe you're in the middle of eating your lunch and you just kind of got to put a paper towel over it and come back to your cold meal later. And when we were there, you know, I talked to Jolene for a bit at the station, and I was like, hey, if you need to go take a nap, or if you need to make a phone call, you know, whatever you need to do, that's fine. But no, we talked for quite a few hours that day.
Yeah, well, I had a great time photographing it, and as you can see, I'm done with photos, so we should be done with this session here. But thank you so much for reading the paper and for checking out the slideshows. And Aimee, thanks for working on this project with me.
Yeah, thank you. It was great to work with you again.